This is the new Lamborghini Huracan LP6104, and not only must it beat the Ferrari 458 and McLaren 650S, but it needs to outperform the Gallardo in the showroom, Lambo's best-selling model ever, with 14,000 sold over a 10-year career. It gets off to the best possible start. Perhaps the design is a little conservative by Lamborghini standards, but I assure you in the flesh, the immaculate proportions, aggressive front end and floating C-pillar push all the right buttons. The interior pays homage to fighter jets with a flip-up ignition switch, angles everywhere, and a new cockpit-like 12.3-inch digital instrument display behind the wheel that can be configured in a variety of ways. Now, before we take the Huracan for a drive, I just thought I'd use this bare chassis to show you around some of the brand new technologies on the car, because quite simply there are so many. For starters, you get this all new chassis. It's made from a combination of aluminium and carbon fibre that you can see here, and that means it's 10% lighter than the Gallardo, but 50% stiffer. There's also 3-stage adaptive dampers. They're new, and a variable ratio electro-mechanical steering system that varies the ratio depending on how quick you're driving. A new electronically controlled 4-wheel drive system can send up to 70% of the power to the rear wheels in normal driving, but up to 100% when you really need it. But perhaps most importantly for this car, out goes the old automated manual gearbox, in comes a new 7-speed twin clutch box that shouldn't feel like you're getting kicked in the head every time you change gear. As for the engine, the V10 engine, well, for that, we're going to need to take a drive. Forget turbocharging, forget downsizing. Lamborghini's sticking to its guns here with the development of the Gallardo's naturally aspirated 5.2 litre V10. It's got stop-start and a few other tweaks to make it a little bit cleaner, but more importantly, it's now got 602 horsepower and 560 Newton meters of torque. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds and top speed of 202 miles an hour. As you can imagine, the acceleration is pretty vivid. Perhaps it doesn't quite have the free revving nature of a 458 or the turbocharged hit of a McLaren 650S, but it's definitely lost none of the oral drama that the Gallardo had. The biggest step change here with the Huracan though is its breadth of abilities. We've now got a switch down here called the Anima switch, and that's got 3 driving modes. So if I put it in Strada, it softens off the suspension, it dials back the ferocity of the steering and the gearbox and the throttle. If I put it in Sport, well, that's a bit of an interim mode, pretty good for fast driving on road. But seeing as we're here on track today at the amazing Ascari circuit in Spain, well, it would be a shame if we didn't go for the full fat Corsa mode. Fling it into a corner, and the steering, well, it's quite light, but it's absolutely pin sharp. In terms of feel, it's a bit like a Ferrari 458 really, and in tight corners like that one, you can feel the variable ratio really helping you out, so you don't have to cross your hands over. The carbon ceramic brakes, they're standard fit now, well, they're absolutely brutal in the way they stop the car. And as you'd imagine with a 4-wheel drive car, there's tons of grip. But this is the thing about a Lamborghini, and the thing that characterizes their cars is that if you act like a hooligan, if you provoke it, and if you give it a boot full of throttle, well, you can get this thing to act a bit like a rear-wheel drive car. Perhaps it's not as leery as the Gallardo used to be, that liked to get his tail out at the slightest provocation, but you know, you can still have some fun with this thing and feel it moving underneath you. Whoa, hit the red line there. You know, I'm not the fastest driver in the world, but just on these few laps we've had here today, I can definitely say the Huracan is making me look a lot better than I actually am. The question is though, do you actually want a Lamborghini that flatters you and covers up all your driving mistakes? Some will say that a Lamborghini should scare the life out of you and your passenger, and it should spit you into a hedge when you're not at the top of your game, but I tend to disagree. The new Huracan is a glorious fusion of modern electronics and old school theatrics. If you want something that drives like a pig and breaks down every 5 minutes, well, you can always take your 186 grand and spend it on something from Lambo's back catalogue. Click on the video windows to watch our reviews of the BMW i8 and Ferrari 458 Speciale. Click on the red play icon to watch our very latest video and Auto Express logo to subscribe to our channel.